This episode of Orange Hatter is sponsored by Free Market Kids. Join the ranks of families who have discovered the magic of bonding over Bitcoin learning. With the Huddle Up Bitcoin mining game, you're not just playing, you're building bridges, creating memories, and embracing the future, one block at a time. Happy hodling! Hi everyone, welcome to Orange Hatter. Today you're listening to part 2 of my conversation with Ada.
That's the way I see it. Well, and on your question on how hard it is, I told you about my family. And also when I was there, for example, I was working and I was working in the university and also leading some development projects and things like that. And I was earning like, I don't know, $30 a month at that time. Right now, at the value that our money has now, it's like $6. And I checked before the podcast with my friends in Cuba, and right now the value of what I earned at that time was $30. Right now is $6 a month. So that's now you can see how hard it is to live in a place where your money is totally devalued.
Yeah, how did you get out of Cuba? Did you find a job or how did you transition here?
Yeah, I went to another country and then come here. That's the way that most Cubans do.
Wow.
Not easy and scary, but yes.
Yeah. Are you here then by yourself or did your family all come with you?
No, most of my family is in Cuba.
That's tough.
And most of them are there. Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I know all the struggles because they are there and I see them every day. I mean, I see their struggles every day and I hear the stories and they're very scary. And you have to help them with everything, right? You have to send medicine, money, and everything that you can to help them in there because they have nothing. The they don't have a currency, they don't have an economy, they don't have like the private sector producing things that they can have a market over there. It's really hard, and that's one of the things that also to your question about how hard it is. For example, you can plan to have like a business. You will put your money in that business, you will start growing that business, and then all of a sudden the government will decommission everything, and you will, during the time that you have the business, you have to find the supplies and find everything to run your business on your own, and they will audit you, and it's kind of hard. And once you are going a little bit better, then all of a sudden the government decides, no, you cannot do this anymore, we're shutting down the business, and people lost everything. That's why a lot of people have left the country because it's impossible.
Do they have access to Bitcoin there?
Right now, I have seen none of my friends over there are doing that, but I have seen by on Twitter and some documentary on Twitter that they are doing alternatives. They are looking for alternatives. People are like developing different apps that they can use with their currency because our currency right now is very controlled by the government, right? So they have like a digital currency right now that they control. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see the innovations that are going to be done there to escape the regular system that they have there. But they have some, but it's mostly like it was here on the begin of the first years of Bitcoin. It is like that right now there, like people to people and through WhatsApp groups and things like that. I think that's the way that they are, or Telegram groups and things like that, the way that they are doing it right now. But hopefully, they are Cubans always find the way around. So hopefully they will be able to find out the way to transfer value one from each other. So let's see.
I hope so. And I hope that happens quickly and people are very creative. And with the internet, they can do a lot of things. So,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
So you said that you have a technology background and for your job, you go to meetups to keep up with the changes and the advancements in technology. Did that background help you when you entered the Bitcoin space? Because a lot of women are a little bit intimidated by the technology side of Bitcoin.
It helps a little bit But Bitcoin is a different technology, so don't be afraid. Once you start paying attention and grabbing your head around the concepts and how the blockchain works and everything, it start clicking for you. So I will say keep educating yourself. And at the end, for example, to use Bitcoin, that is because sometimes we are scared, but at the end, you use credit cards and you don't know how the technology works. So you don't know how the money is transferred from one bank to another on the technology ledger, right? So you just know that you see your number decreasing on your bank account app, but you don't know how it works on the background. So don't be afraid of that. Just make sure that you do a little bit of research because we are still early and there are a lot of scams and stuff like that on the internet. But don't be afraid of that. Just make sure that you don't use your logic and your instinct. We women's are really good at our instinct. So you use your gut feeling and do your research. Always ask your people that you trust. If you can find a community where you live, that's going to help you also because you can see face to face the people and then you can have a sense of how they are and stuff like that. So that will help you trust. And if you, but like Bitcoin said, that like we said in Bitcoin, don't trust, verify. Don't blindly trust people. Do your research and see. Be open to learn all the time. Be open to, don't be afraid. Just read a little bit of what is in there and don't buy at the first glance. Do some research. And for example, if you're going to buy like your hardware wallets and things like that to put your savings, because for example, when you are trying to create in fiat world, when you're trying to create your savings account, you will do a little bit of research of the banks and you will normally go with Bank of America, Wells Fargo, this and that, because you did a little bit of research. So it's the same thing that you will have to do, but with a little bit of more technical information. And normally they have in YouTube, for example, you will find always videos explaining how this technology works, the good and bad, and things like that. And be open also to get the hands on and learn how to move from one device to another and things like that. The best ways to secure your funds, either with a multiple signature and things that you can do for that, or having your own hardware wallet, your seeds phrase, how to take care of that, and all those steps and good practices that you define your good practices for all of that. And that will mature as much you do it, right? And then that's what I will be open also, for example, because right now we have this issue with Ledger. So in this case, learn about that and don't be afraid to move whatever is in Ledger and move it to the more secure. And that is something that we will have to face in Bitcoin because it's still early. There's a lot of innovation. So, but it's like going and taking from one purse and put your money in the other purse, but you have to be more careful, right? In the purse that you are, the new purse that you're gonna put it in. So always research, use your logic and common sense, and don't trust, just always verify.
Definitely don't trust and verify and talk to people and find out information. You mentioned Ledger and the issue with Ledger. Would you expand a little bit more on that for the people who don't know what that is?
So I don't have all the technical background on the Ledger problems, but there was new features that they are going to implement that are gonna provide access to your information in case it's needed. And as Bitcoiners, we don't want that. We want to have more privacy, as much privacy as we can. And we are doing this the way that nobody can take your funds or freeze your funds and stuff like that. So if they are doing that at any moment, anybody can access it, or if it's needed, they will give it away. So that's a way that you lose your privacy and your freedom, right? So say that is something to think about and keep in mind.
Yeah, and just to clarify, Ledger is a hardware wallet. So it's a key storage device. So I want to go back to what you said a little bit earlier when you entered the Bitcoin space. Not only were you convinced by the economic principles behind it, but you were also very intrigued by the values that Bitcoin promotes. So can you go into a little bit more details about the values and why they're important to you?
Yes. So first, I think that when you learn what money is and what money will do to your life, that's one of the things that will make you value other things. Like, for example, if you have this problem that we have right now where the money is inflated every time, and inflation makes everything more expensive, and you cannot even get the food because probably the nutritious food that you need because it's too expensive to get it sometimes. That makes you feel like, well, okay, what is inflation, and what money can I use that doesn't have this? And that's one of the things that Bitcoin has, that nobody can inflate, nobody can print more, so it's scarce. So that's one of the, and also always scarcity has been one of the things that we value the most. So that's why gold is very valuable, because it is scarce. It's not something that you can get in trees and everything, anything like that. So that is one of the things that I value from that. That is the money that is something that is scarce, and that the government cannot control. That I am responsible for it, and that I can the one of the things that most humans value is freedom. And coming from my country, where we've when you have gone through most of your life, gone through those kind of restrictions, and you cannot do this, and the government can take it out of you, from you at any time, and all those struggles, you understand really quick the value of freedom, right? And that's why we leave our countries. And in some cases, and Bitcoins provide the freedom to, because it's a global, also a global currency that you can use anywhere. So if there is a point, if Bitcoin gets at some point that is more accepted everywhere, and you can just, if I don't like how the things are going here, and I can move to another country or another place where I feel with that community is more aligned with what I value the most, I can do it. So that's something that is priceless. And also, since the money is not losing value, that is gonna help, that is gonna shape the mind of people, and they will value what they have even more, because, and they will try to save for the future. So they will be able to relax a little bit, live life better, and because they don't have to think that what, where I'm gonna put my money that don't lose value, and then I, and be this stress out of their future. If that the contrary, Bitcoin will increase in value every time, right? Because it's more scarce. As much as adoption you get in, then your money grows. So you will be able to enjoy life and do things that you care about. So people, because most of the things that we are having right now, that the problems that we are having right now, or I will say 99% of the problems we have right now, is because of the monetary system that we have right now. So if you take that out of the equation, people will be able to do better things and more valuable things. So they will not produce things because of money. They will produce it because of value. And that will waterfall into many things. You will get better education. People will try to do whatever they are good at, know what pays the most. And people will start like thinking on providing value. So that's gonna make every person a little better, right? And if anybody, it's so people will be able to focus more on growing themselves than chasing the money only, because it will increase the value. That's what those values, but mainly the freedom part is the big one.
Yeah, for sure. And for us telling our kids to chase their dreams and chase their passion can only happen if they don't have to go chase the money in order to survive. Totally agree with you. Thanks for joining us today and learning with us today. If the discussion with our guest resonated with you and you would like to dive deeper into the world of Bitcoin, don't miss out on joining the Orange Hatter Women's Reading Club. The meetup link is in the show notes. Also, if there are women in your life whom you think would both enjoy and benefit from learning more about Bitcoin, please share Orange Hatter with them. Until next time, bye!